Okie dokie. This is the Ultimate Fan Chat Draft Episode 5. Today we're going to be doing a countdown of UFC 226 and we're going to be talking about the preliminary cards. Okay, and here we go. My name is Chris.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Peter.
There we go. Alright, so you guys want to start from the bottom? From the guy that we actually know, because I don't know who Jamie Moyle is.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll go from Lando Venata. Do you want to start, Pete?
Sure. I'll explain a little bit about his opponent, Drakkar Klose. So I watched his last fight, losing to David Tamer. Also, David Tamer and Lando Venata had a good fight, didn't they, recently? Was it?
Yeah. They had a good fight.
And,
David Tamer won.
Yeah, so all three of those guys sort of you're more kickboxing orientated guys, so it's probably going to make for it. They were fun fights, so this one will probably make for a fun fight as well, I think. I'm just getting up Lando Venata's record because I know Drakkar Klose he was on a two win streak before he fought Tamer. Let's see. Yeah, well, I think Venata's last loss was to David Tamer as well. He had a split draw against Bobby Green. He had that spectacular wheel kick KO over John McDessie, and he got choked out by Tony Ferguson. So he's mixed results in the UFC with sort of mixed competition as well. But I think this fight sort of plays into his stylistic favour.
Yeah, well, as you're saying, he's had mixed results. That Tony Ferguson fight, that was probably one of his better fights considering he came in on short notice and he just put on an absolute war, knocked Tony down, 2 or 3 times? Which is just crazy, doing that to someone like Tony. I mean, if you look at Tony's record, when was the last time anyone did something like that to him? So that was a really good showing for your debut. That was huge. And then he came out, obviously, as you said, Will kicked John McDessie. And yeah, that was crazy because McDessie was known as the spinning guy. Knocks people out with spinning back fists. He likes throwing spinning heel kicks, and he gets knocked out with his own move.
They share 2 similar opponents, and they both got similar results. So actually, they both of their last losses were to David Tamer. Before that, Drakkar Klose lost a split decision to I've got the wrong person. Scrap that. I was looking at the wrong page. So just cut out that last 20 seconds.
Okay,
and we'll go from there.
Fair enough.
I had the wrong page up. Sorry. Dan Hooker and Gilbert Burns.
Okay. Yep. Either way, the Venata fight's going to be great. Pumped for that.
It will be.
All right. Dan, do you want to say anything about him?
Let's move on. I don't know much about either.
All right, cool. We'll go Dan Hooker, the Aussie, or actually no, the New Zealander.
Kiwi. Oh, don't let anyone from New Zealand catch you saying that.
Yeah. Oh shit. Better not post this video.
So Dan Hooker versus Gilbert Burns. Dan Hooker's on a 3-fight win streak.
Yeah, great win streak.
Make it 4. Gilbert Burns, interesting fact, was actually supposed to compete at the Boa Super 8 last week.
Really?
Yeah, he was penciled in the that was it $20,000 tournament. How much were they paying the winner?
I have no idea.
Something crazy. Anyway, yeah, he was originally penciled in for it, but he pulled out obviously because it was so close to this fight. What's his name? Jim Miller. Not Jim Miller. He beat Jim Miller. Dan Hooker. 3-0 at lightweight. So he dropped back down from welterweight. He KO'd Ross Pearson with that knee, highlight reel knockout. Choked out Mark Diakowski. And then knocked out Jim Miller as well. So 3-0 since returning to lightweight, all 3 finishes. Probably knocking on the door of the top 15 if he wins this fight.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Dan, do you have anything to say about him?
I don't know much about him.
Fair enough.
Does he look good naked?
So?
No, fuck around with Dan. I guess, does he look good naked?
Oh, man, I always look good naked.
You know it's going to be a good fight? Probably a sleeper fight, but I think it'd be a good fight. Curtis Millender versus Max Griffin.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really pumped for that fight because I watched Curtis Miller fight Thiago Alves, and I'm huge on Thiago Alves.
Yes.
And he
again
dismantled.
another sort of stylistic fight that'd be good. 2 strikers. Max Griffin, showed his technical ability and whatnot against Mike Perry.
Yeah, but I think Curtis Miller's just going to be too powerful and too much for him.
I think so as well. Yeah. My prediction. Should we do predictions for each fight as well? Like
Yeah,
just a quick one.
yeah.
I think Millender by knockout.
Oh, by knockout.
Curtis Millender by knockout. I think he's gonna, like you said, just a bit too strong, a bit too aggressive, and I think at times Max Griffin, if Mike Perry was a bit more diverse with his striking, like what Curtis Millender will be, I think Perry, the pressure and the power would have been too much for Griffin. So I think Millender, with that pressure and the power and the sort of variable attack that he brings, will probably stop Max Griffin.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go TKO. Although his last 3 fights have been by legit KO, like knocked dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say TKO. I reckon he's gonna TKO Max Griffin. I think he'll knock him down and then end it with a couple of strikes. And I reckon it's gonna be later in the fight, so maybe end of the second, early third.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be too early. I think he'll overwhelm him, but it's not going to be straight off the bat like the knockout blow. He's not a headhunter, Curtis Miller. He'll build it up. Like he's a headhunter, but he's not Mike Perry. He's gonna build it up. He's gonna wait for the openings and then take them.
Yeah. Plus, he's Mike Perry's. It doesn't throw very technical or quick kicks.
No.
Whereas
I'll get into that. I'll get into that when we talk about him versus Paul Felder.
Yes,
I've got a bit to say about that.
You've done your research. Should we quickly go back and talk about and make a prediction for Venata and Hooker?
Yep. I'm gonna say, and it's gonna be a little bit detailed, so bear with me on this one. I think they're gonna be. It's not gonna be an early one, I don't think. Hooker will take a little bit of time to sort of gauge Venata's timing and his distance and whatnot.
Hooker.
Sorry, not Hooker. What's
Close.
Drakkar.
Yeah.
Close. I think he'll take a bit of time. But the thing is with Venata, I think that first fight with Tony Ferguson, it was a surprise, and he did so well because nobody knew. He was an unknown quantity. Now I think people are sort of getting used to how he fights, and it'll just take Drakkar a little bit of time to get used to that distance and arrangement, but I think he'll be able to eke out a decision.
Fair enough.
That's my prediction. That's my prediction for that Lando Venata fight. Although it all depends. Lando Venata's sort of like Uriah Hall in a way. Just what you get in one fight's not what you get in the next fight. I don't think.
I think Uriah Hall. It's all mental.
Maybe not to that extent, but
Yeah, well, I think you get the same Venata in every fight. Just sometimes it's not as effective as it was against the previous guy. Because you watch him against Bobby Green, he put it all out there. It was a split draw. He did the same against Tamor, but unfortunately Tamor was just too technical for him. He was able to stay out of distance and never really got hit by any of those fancy moves. And then by the point later on in the fight, Venata just gassed because he was throwing all these big attacks.
That's why I think if Drakkar is patient, waits for those attacks, sees what Venata does, he'll be able to eke out a decision. I think it's the roughie. It's not the sort of consensus vote on that one, but I'm going with that.
I'm going to go with Venata just because I love his flashy style and I really want to see him win. And I figure why not go against you for the first pick? Why not?
Why not? There's another interesting fight on the prelims. Just quickly, I won't go too much into it, but one of the top bantamweights, Rafael Assunção, is actually fighting. There's a guy that seems to always be near the top, but he never quite gets to the title shot. I know there's 3 guys that are sort of choking the bantamweight division at the moment in Cruz, Garbrandt, and Dillashaw, but Rafael Assunção is a guy that's almost there. He's fighting Rob Font, so not really, a household opponent, but I mean, if he keeps winning, they can sort of. There's only so much, until he gets that title shot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he gets so close. He did have that title shot lined up against who was it? Who was the champion at that time? The Brazilian guy. TJ beat the hell out of him.
Barão.
Renan Barão. He had a title shot lined up, and then he got injured, and TJ took his spot, and then took over from that point. So he has had.
He's on a 3-fight win streak. He beat after losing to Dillashaw. He lost the decision to Dillashaw. Aljamain Sterling, but split decision. He split decision Marlon Moraes, and he knocked out Matthew Lopez. So
yeah,
I mean, he's doing what he needs to do to be in the contention. So
Yeah, unfortunately, his style just isn't as flashy and as exciting. So when he gets these wins,
I,
no one's going, yes, yes, let's see him fight for the title.
I don't think he beats any of those three guys, and I don't think, like I'm not clamoring for him to get that title shot, but I mean, if he keeps winning, they can only sort of keep him away for so long, and he
Yeah,
can only sort of like Yarbrough and Dillashaw and Cruz can only fight each other so many times in a row.
this is true. What about Font, Rob Font? I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, to be honest, let me see
His
what
last
he's
his
done
last fight,
recently.
he beat up Thomas Almeida, and then
I watched that fight.
You watched that fight?
Yeah,
I watched the fight, and in all honesty, nothing to be impressed. Thomas Almeida was kind of like always on attack, while Front was very much on the defensive and just caught him near the end and finished him. So I'm not impressed by Rob. I don't think maybe he's grown by then, but last time I saw him, he's not top 5 material.
Yeah, fair enough. So do you think a Sun Sao be able to take the fight away from him?
I don't know because the last time I saw Sunside Fire was against TJ Dillashaw, and he was absolutely outclassed. Like TJ just put a clinic and just
Mm.
manhandled him in a
Yeah,
sense.
it was one of those fights where he just slowly took over from the start. It was kind of first round, it was kind of even, but TJ seemed on top, and then by round three, it just looked like TJ. It was just all TJ by that point. Hey Dan, do you reckon you could turn a light on? Because I can barely see your face.
Okay, no problem. We got-
don't be long, I'll miss you.
I already miss him.
I'm back.
Okie
All right,
dokies.
let's move on. Thunder and Perry. That's gonna be a fun one.
Oh
Hey,
boy,
this is
oh
one of the fights
boy.
I'm looking for.
Man, I'm so glad.
Team Platinum.
I'm
Team
so glad
Platinum.
this fight was made. I'm so glad this fight was made, man. This is. I feel bad for Felder because obviously he's a lightweight going up against a welterweight.
Why? They're the same size.
They may be
They're the
like
same
they might be
size.
similar height, but I don't know
Same
about the same
height,
size.
similar height, similar reach. And I was listening to Paul Felder on the MMA Hour with Errol Kawani back when he was pulled off the Brooklyn card,
Yeah,
when he was supposed to fight Iquanta. He cuts from like 180 something,
yeah, he has a big cut.
like high 80s. So he's not like, and Mike Perry does, I don't think Mike Perry cuts a lot either. So, I mean, Mike Perry, I don't think he probably, whether it's the discipline or whether he just can't make lightweight, but I don't think he's that much bigger than Paul Felder. I think, honestly, this is probably a good fight for Paul Felder.
Yeah, 100%.
If you look at Perry's losses, Alan Jabane,
Hmm.
who was Max Griffin, and Santiago Ponzinibbio, all guys that were able to technically outstrike Mike Perry. I don't think any of those guys are that much better than Paul Felder in terms of technical striking. So I think this is it's a good shot for Paul Felder. I think the only sort of X factor in this fight is Mike Perry training at Greg Jackson's for the last sort of month or two. Whether or not that means he's going to change his sort of game plan, because if he goes in with the same game plan he's had with the last few fights, I think he loses a wide decision again. So I think it all comes down to Mike Perry's game plan. If he sets up his strikes, then he's got as good a chance as anyone to win. It just comes down to his game plan. I think Paul Felder is just going to be Paul Felder. It's what Mike Perry we see that will determine the outcome.
So do you have a specific prediction? Come on, just pick one. Just pick just pick one.
Paul Felder decision.
Paul Felder decision.
Paul
Okay,
Felder
fair enough.
decision.
My opinion on the fight. Mike Perry has the last time he fought a lightweight knocked him out with a knee in like less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But in saying that, as you said, Felder's he is a big lightweight. He is a technical striker. He has a lot of power at lightweight. I'm not sure if that's going to carry over to the welterweight. But the thing about Felder in his last couple of fights, just let me pull it up. I think his last 2 fights, he's won them by elbow on the ground. So if he's able to get by elbows on the ground. So if he's able to take Perry down, I reckon he'll be able to elbow him out to a finish, or at least ground and pound to some extent, because he's vicious. When he gets on top of guys, he is vicious, and it is scary to watch.
I
So
think fight of the night contender there.
I reckon it's a definite fight of the night. The thing about Perry though is the way he won his first, I think, 2 fights in the UFC was purely by being
Yeah.
tough. He was getting
Yeah,
beat up
yeah.
in the first 2 rounds and ended up somehow getting it. Well, wait, no. First one he won via knockout in the first round. My bad. Okay,
All knockouts.
yeah, I watched
All his wins are knockouts.
I watched the Danny Roberts fight, and he was getting beat up for 2 rounds, and then he somehow came out in the third round and knocked him out, which he had to do.
I think guys that can't stick to the game plan for the 3 rounds will lose against him.
Yeah.
Guys that they just end up sort of throwing down with him.
Yeah. To touch on the point that you made about Mike Perry going to Greg Jackson's, I don't think that's going to be relevant in this fight, because I think you need to be there longer than for one camp for it to make a difference.
I don't think he's the guy that will take it all in. I think, he starts to get tagged. This is my prediction for the fight. He'll start to get tagged by Paul Felder, and he's just going to go into Mike Perry mode and just start looking for that big hook, headhunting, and we'll just get tagged. It's sort of like the Max Griffin fight, just more dangerous for Perry because Paul Felder is such a
Felder is sneaky as well, man.
Guy.
He is sneaky. I think it was Danny Castillo who knocked him out with a spinning back fist or spinning back elbow.
And I mean, Mike Perry's a guy that Paul Felder loves to fight, a guy that's going to stand there and fight him.
Yeah, 100%. But unfortunately, I think it's going to Felder will probably get the best of Perry, depending on if he's had enough time to prepare for the fight. But I'm calling Felder. I'm saying it's going to be a finish.
I'm a bit sad on that as well. I like Perry, but I think after this it's going to be hard to bounce back.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, Dan, what's your opinion?
I agree. I think Paul Felder is technically better. Size difference, I don't know really, but yeah, I'm going with Paul Felder by TKO.
What round do you reckon?
Later rounds, probably round 3.
Round 3, yeah. I'm in agreement with you there. I think it's going to be probably round 3. TKO, ground and pound. Probably knock him down with a spinning back fist and then do it. All right, yeah, go on.
Let's talk about the sleeper fight. Uriah Hall versus Paulo Costa. Have you guys seen Paulo Costa?
Yes.
Have you guys seen how jacked he is? You could see that he's like Wanderlei Silva jacked. Like you go near him and it's like oozing from test. And anyways.
You get too turned on by this stuff, Dan. It's just so creepy.
Paulo Costa is huge. Technically not all there. Uriah Hall technically is better, but as mentioned before, Uriah Hall, he's like on and off. You never know what you're getting in a sense.
I can make one guarantee in this fight. I can't guarantee it, but I think 99% I can. It's going to be a finish.
Yeah.
Knockout. Paulo Costa, 10 KOs, 1 sub. And Uriah Hall has got 11 finishes out of his 13 wins. I don't think it's going to decision. Whoever wins, I'm leaning a lot more towards Paulo Costa just because Uriah Hall is so hit and miss. But, I mean, remember his fight against Masasi, the first fight, with that spinning back kick? He can catch you with that shit if he's on. If he's mentally on, he can catch any of those guys in the middleweight division. But if he's on, it's just so up in the air that I think Paulo Costa, for me, he's the scariest prospect at middleweight. Probably the scariest guy at middleweight at the moment. He's still a little bit unproven, but I think he's the scariest guy at middleweight at the moment.
Scariest looking guy, that's for sure.
I mean, from an overall perspective, you'd say Yoel Romero, but in terms of just a guy that just hurts people in a middleweight division, it's Paulo Costa.
Yeah, as we saw with poor Johnny Hendricks. Sorry, man, didn't mean to make you cringe. Yeah,
I enjoyed that fight. I like watching Johnny Hendricks.
It was a great fight. Hey, Johnny Hendricks was going for it in that fight, man. He was throwing that left hand like it was no tomorrow.
He was trying. He was a champion. He's a former champion who's trying, but
he was doing his best. Yeah, for this fight, I reckon. Anytime you watch a Uriah Hall fight, I think you're gambling on your pick. If you're making a pick, it's such a big gamble because if Uriah Hall comes out and he fights like he did against like he did on the Tough TV show, he's an absolute animal. Or even against Gaga Mousasi, he was getting his ass destroyed, and then he landed that spinning back kick to the face, and it's like, what? What?
He can land if Paulo Costa's not careful, and I haven't seen enough of Paulo Costa to sort of make a judgment on that front, but he's got to be careful. He can't sort of, especially if he's starting to get the better of Uriah Hall, he can't be taking liberties with him. He has to, stay on his game until the job's done.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, for this fight, I'm going to pick Uriah Hall simply based on the fact that he's a more technical fighter. Yeah, it is a gamble, but I'm hoping that for a fight card like this, Uriah Hall comes out and shows what he's actually worth. Because when he comes out and actually fights to his ability, he's an absolute beast. It's hard to pick anyone to beat him, unless you're going with a wrestler. But Paulo Costa, he's not a wrestler.
No.
So I'm going to go Uriah Hall, but yeah, man, it is such a gamble every time. Every time I try and pick Uriah Hall for a fight, I'm like, I'm not putting money on this.
We'll see.
I think Paulo Costa will walk him down, and Paulo Costa wins by TKO.
Yeah, Paulo Costa TKO is a safe bet, I think, on this one.
Man, you know what I should have done? I should have brought up a graphic of Paulo Costa so that everyone watching this can see him.
Just see how jacked he is.
Yes. But if anyone watches this and they want to see how jacked he is, just type in Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa. Do it. Okay, so that's the entire fight card. Well, that's the entire prelims. We'll do another countdown show for the main card sometime in the upcoming days. So whoever's interested in watching that, make sure you come watch. Also, we've now got an Instagram page, we've got a Twitter page, we've got a Facebook page coming. So whoever watches this, make sure you add us on there. You like.
Can you chuck up some kind of graphic that has all like the names of the pages and shit?
I probably should have done that before I started this, but now it's a bit too late for me to do.
Yeah.
Next time I'll have that ready to go though. But
sure.
When I post this up on YouTube, I'll make sure I have it underneath in the description. So So you can easily just click on that and then bang, done. All right, so that's us done. It's a nice short one today, 21 minutes or 22 minutes now. So. Ta-ta. I have been Chris. You have been Peter. You have also been Dan. And Dan, what do you like to say before we leave?
We've been sexy and you've been watching. Thank you.
Damn right. Peace out, homies.